Hey, folks, we're live, and I want to introduce my great friend Tommy Bonk, who I have to explain. First of all, Tiger Woods, as many of you know, was in this terrible accident, and he's in surgery. And I've heard all these people in my ear, and I thought, wait a minute, he doesn't know Tiger. He doesn't know Tiger. Doggone it, I'm calling Tommy. So he
Yeah,
kind
it's quite a day for Tiger. I'll tell you one thing.
oh man,
Uh,
what do you think
this
about?
was, I'm sorry.
What do you think about what happened to him?
Well, he's certainly got some bad luck in cars. Um, it was funny. Well, it wasn't funny. It was just interesting how this happened this morning, because he was doing a 2-day photo shoot for Golf Digest down near Palos Verdes, and he did a celebrity thing yesterday with D Wade and David Spade and some other folks. And the second part of it was supposed to be this morning, and he didn't show up. So they knew immediately something was wrong. And then they discovered later he had been in this rollover accident. Apparently, he crossed from one side of the road to the other and went down into a ditch. And I've spoken to a family member, or someone who has spoken to a family member, and who has let us know that the injuries that he's being looked after are to this ankle and to his leg, which is sounds bad, and we don't know if it is, but at least it's not to his knee, or even more importantly, his head. It looks like there's something they could be able to take care of. At least that's the hope.
Oh, forgive me, folks. For those of you who may not know, Tommy's covered Tiger Woods for years. He was most recently featured. Tommy Bonk was on the HBO special about Tiger Woods. There you can see him, as he says, looking smart. I thought he did a great job of doing that.
Makeup.
Makeup. I need that one. What? My question is this: I have to see and screenshot a part of the car. It looked like it was from his Invitational, and
It was.
yeah. But my question was, why didn't he use a limousine? He seems like he's always in cars, as you said when we started off. What?
He likes driving. That's fun for him. I mean, he likes driving. If I agree with you, for me, I'd be in a limousine, or a float or something like that. But certainly not driving myself. But it was early in the morning. You could tell from the debris on the long side of the road that he was packed. He was obviously going to the airport afterward. You saw his baggage and his clubs on the side of the road. So and he always is early. So he was showing up early, and that who knows what happened in the accident. But if you looked at the courtesy car that he was driving, it was pretty beat up. And the fact that they had to use the jaws of life to extricate him, that reflects how serious this accident was.
Yeah, I believe I happen to have a photograph of that car here on Oakland News Now that I can show it if I'll have to replace that real quick in a second. But as I'm doing that, folks, or Tommy, what is he just having a run of bad luck or what?
Well, he had back surgery in December, and he was just at his tournament at Riviera in LA this past weekend, not in a playing capacity, but in a official capacity. And just there, it's a trophy presentation deal, basically. And Jim Nantz on CBS was asking him, when are you playing again, of course, which is always what you ask Tiger. And he was hoping for Augusta. Now, I would assume that this takes Augusta out of the mix, since he hadn't even begun to hit balls yet. He can do putting, but that's about it. So, I mean, this is not a good situation. He's 45 years old, and he's obviously in bad health right now. This doesn't help his playing career. Let's just say that.
If hopefully he's not paralyzed or anything like that, it's just leg injuries. If can you think of anybody who's went through something like this and rehabilitated in golf and then came back in tip-top form?
Absolutely. Ben Hogan. We hit the back of a bus and should have died, but that was in like 1948. But he came back and won multiple majors after that. So it does happen. And if anybody can do it, it's Tiger. As I have said before, I will say it again, never underestimate Tiger Woods. That is not the way to bet. So, as I say, he's 45 years old, and he's got a history of really bad health. So, and his body's let him down, and sometimes he's his own worst enemy. But this is obviously a very serious situation, and everybody wishes him the best, of course.
Oh, definitely. And it also seems like he's this workaholic because I'm thinking the guy's a billionaire, if I'm not mistaken. He's got different, you know, golf courses he owns, as I understand it. You better than me. Why doesn't, or maybe I'm just seeing a snapshot and don't know the whole picture, but why doesn't it seem like he just takes some time off, and just let somebody cater to him? Or am I just not seeing it at all?
Well, he has been taking time off, and it's been enforced upon him because he hasn't been well enough to play. So he's actually looking for the opposite thing to happen. He wants to get back and play more. And plus, he really likes the competition. He just likes to hang around with the guys and hopefully win some money. But he's still working on his legacy, believe it or not. He feels like he can win more. At least that's what he says publicly. So he doesn't want to take time off. He wants to play.
And on that note, where for those viewers who don't know, what does he have to do to get to where you think his legacy will be satisfactory for him?
Oh, well, the only way it's satisfactory for him is if he passes Jack Nicklaus with 18 major championships. For me, at this stage, he's already the best player ever, in my opinion. He's won more tournaments than anybody ever, and he's won 15 majors in a time when the competition is much tougher than it was when Jack Nicklaus was playing. And, Tiger's not done yet, I don't think, and we'll see what happens. But his legacy is pretty well complete right now.
I got to ask you, since we're great friends and you went to City Lights Books, I went to City Lights Books. Lawrence Ferlinghetti died at 101 years old. Your thoughts about the passing of the man and the institution he built?
Ferlinghetti is my absolute writing hero. His depth of knowledge and the way he brought poetry to people, and his social activism and his anti-war status. He was just great. He fought for the First Amendment when he was sued in court. He established this book place, the City Lights Books, and he's a painter, raconteur. He's just larger than life, and this is a worldwide event, believe me. Ferlinghetti is just awesome. His career spanned 6 decades just in published material alone, and he published a book, an autobiography, on his 100th birthday, which I want you to do, Zenny. I want you to do a broadcast on your 100th.
Okay.
And it was called Little Boy on his 100th birthday. And I think there might have been 2 periods, 2 punctuation marks in the entire book. It's stream of consciousness writing. I just love it. It's really, really good stuff.
Hey, what do you think it says that, coming back to Tiger though, what do you think it says that when Tiger gets into an accident like this, the first thing we want to know is, was he drinking or something like that, as opposed to, gee, who hit him? That's what caught me about the way this is covered. What do you think about the way that this is being covered?
I think it's entirely predictable. And a lot of this, I've said this before, it's self-inflicted. He's left himself open for that type of that type of scrutiny because of the way he's conducted of life. I think it's kind of premature and really not fair to him. It's kind of a cheap shot for analysts to bring this up. That, well, was he drinking? Was he on drugs? Or what was going? Was he under the influence somehow? I think we ought to probably give him a little space and just let it sort out. I think there's a press conference at 3:00 Pacific time that's going to say a little bit more, maybe. And we'll find out something about it then. But I think we ought to back off. But a lot of this is self-inflicted because of the way he conducted his life previously.
Yeah, and I always loved the man. Hopefully I get a chance to meet him before I die. You've met him. But I only want to meet him for one reason, to tell him that Cal's better than Stanford. That's the only thing I ever wanted to get out of my mouth.
Oh, that's going to be a big argument.
Hey, Tommy, let's talk in backstage, but I want to thank you so much because I'm going to get this out and up. And folks, this is the man. You want to know anything about Tiger Woods? Read what he puts out and talk to him. Subscribe to Zenny62, bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com, and that ends this broadcast for now. Stick around, Tommy. Thanks.
Thanks, Danny.